Hey everybody, Hostron here, aka Coach Kevin, bringing you another Coach Kevin First Edition video. Um, Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you had a good work week, whatever else you may have done. Hope you're enjoying now your Friday afternoon or Friday evening, or it's the weekend already for you when you're watching this and you're enjoying your weekend. If you are, thank you for carving out some time to spend with us here. Uh, Last week, Maggie, our former chairwoman for the CC, um, jokingly complained about how scared she was to attempt missions. And so I had posted that I was going to dedicate my next video to kind of talking about that and focusing on it. So that is what we're going to do. I kind of had this already set up in my head for what I was going to do, but I realized that I could just kind of like maybe make this video also just kind of focus on the thought process that's involved with attempting missions and so forth. From a Coach Kevin, this is my advice kind of a standpoint. So, but we are going to still do this the way I did the video last week, where we're going to kind of try to play things out in a kind of semi-fishbowl manner. So what we have here is we have a deck that I've put together. We're in the Delta Quadrant, right? Looks like our opponent is in the Alpha Quadrant. What we can tell so far is that each one of us is going to be looking at each other, going, "Yeah, we're going to just be playing in our own little sandboxes." Our opponent's going to see this mission set up. They're going to see conduct perilous trade, and they're definitely going to think that your Voyager, your Equinox, you're some kind of Kazon solver. But basically they're going to see this mission and they're going to think that you're using Museum of Curian Heritage and that it's probably a solver deck most likely, especially given the fact that we're running like high point missions. And that other than this particular mission, they're going to see that we have a mission set that's basically open to everyone because every other mission is attemptable by either everyone or by non-aligned. So they're going to realize that that there's just a really good chance that this might even be like Herodian holograms with just enough non-aligned support to get access to missions. But most likely, they're going to look at our mission set and realize that we're playing either Voyager or Equinox or something of that nature. So, on the other side of the coin, we're looking at our opponent, and we're seeing a 2-mission win setup. It's given away by the fact that every single one of these missions is 35 points with skills. And these 2 missions right here on the end, they are pretty much exactly the dead giveaway that our opponent is on some kind of 2-mission win plan, because these are the 2 space missions, at least for feds, both TNG and TOS, that really just give it away that the opponent's on some kind of 2-mission win plan. And then if that wasn't enough to convince you, this mission right here is the next one to really hammer it home, because this is really the third best mission for doing some kind of Federation 2-mission win deck. Talos 4 being seeded along with straight fed missions means that it's almost undoubtedly TOS. And then since it's backed up by 2 more 23rd century missions, we can feel like dang near 100% confident that our opponent's on TOS 2-mission win. And so we've seeded our dilemmas in a manner where we're going to try to herd the opponent away from what they want to do, or push them off their plan A. And so what we've done is that we've actually seeded 4 under review mining operation, because that's where his starting people are most likely going to be, so that they get extra points to cover point losses and so forth. And then between these 2, what we've done is we've just acknowledged the fact that we can't cover both of them super well. So we've put a 4-card combo under Clandestine Search, and then we've made it so that our opponent's going to have to go into what is essentially the combo that we want them to go into, that's going to potentially hold them off the longest. Okay? And then for space, we have 18 dilemmas, but since we're seeding a pair of 4s, all we've got is a pair of 2s for the edge space missions here. We are going to assume that our opponent's going to wants to start near a view mining operation, so we kind of assume that the starting location would be one of these two. And so what we've done is we've assumed then the easiest space mission to get is seek remnants. So we've put 3 there, and then we put 2 on either of the ends. Our opponent seeded their dilemmas, and just so that we're all clear, I set this game up like a while ago, and I've intentionally, in order to forget what dilemmas were where, so I set up combos for us to face, and then gave myself enough time that I have no clue what they are anymore. I do not remember. So we have that going for us, that this is going to be a somewhat real exercise here. Full disclosure, what I've done is basically loaded Michael Van Bremen's Day 1 first place deck. It seems really good. I fishbowled it to kind of get familiar with it for a couple of games. It's high and tight. It's solid. It's easy to see why Michael was able to win Day 1 of Worlds with it. It's lean. It's powerful. It's got a lot of redundancy to it. I guarantee that I will not do it justice compared to Michael playing it, since it's his deck. He knows every little in and out. He knows every thought process behind it, I would assume. And so I'm only trying to replicate to the best of my ability what he would do. One of the things that I thought I saw him do on camera with the deck was he self-seeded the Cytherians at the space mission that he plans to attempt, because then he can just simply use where no one has gone before in order just to go pop around the edges of the space line, back, and so forth, and just be able to easy solve it. So it has seen that there's 2 dilemmas here and 2 dilemmas here. And it has decided that what it wants to do then is it's going to go and seed them over. It's going to seed it over here, because he's put his outpost here, so he's given himself just 5 span to get to here, and then he goes around the edge. So this is kind of really, oddly enough, worked out in its favor, that having the space missions on the end, because then even if he somehow can't come up with the navigation and the physics, he can just literally do this mission. And he just wraps around by only having 2 span in both directions. So these 2 missions from Premier, they are still they're just smoking hot yet. I mean, if you're playing Feds, even if you're not doing 2 mission win, these 2 missions are just so strong with their 2 span. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so we're going to put the Cytherians there, and then just try to 2 mission win off of self-seeding the Cytherians into it. At least that's my understanding of what it is that Michael did. He's welcome to comment if I'm doing it wrong, but I hope that I'm doing it right, because it's what makes the most sense to me with the deck list that he posted. That there's he doesn't have mission specialists. He doesn't have Preserver Obelisk guys who can solve these missions for the points, and so it makes him, the fact that there's a Cytherians in there just screams to me that that's what he wants. That's what it's used for, because he has 17 dilemmas otherwise. So he's got plenty of dilemmas. The Cytherians seems like that's what it's supposed to be for. So once again, I played out the first 3 turns for him. He was able to get a ton of people into play, and he processed mining it for a couple of turns, or for 2 turns. I got it to his turn 3. So when we get to its turn 3, we'll just jump right into it, making decisions on mission attempts. For clarity's sake, turn 1 moved here and dropped the people off, and was able to simply just move the Enterprise back. and then basically has just been sitting here building up people at the outpost till turn 3. There was kind of a moment there on turn 2 where it's like, okay, we've got decent people here. Lots of decent people, with which to make a mission attempt with. But at the same time, it just felt like, well, but if we get wrecked, we're gonna get mega wrecked. There just wasn't enough. In my opinion, there just wasn't enough mojo in the group to really feel confident that they'd be able to keep themselves out of trouble. And I guess that's kind of comment number 1 regarding mission attempts, is that it's okay to wait a turn. Even if you're in a solver v solver matchup, it's okay to wait that turn if you really just don't like the people that you haven't played, if you just don't think they've got the mojo. Because one thing you want to do is if it's if you get 9 people to play on turn 2 and you're like, I want to attempt a mission. It's like, stop, take a deep breath, look at those people. What do you think are the worst possible dilemmas you could face at that mission? And you assume that one of them is probably going to be there. Can that group beat 2 out of the 3 worst dilemmas that you could potentially face? If they can't, you don't go with them, because you'll be better off if you just simply put a few more people into play that can maybe cover those gaps, or at the very least, they become the extra bodies which you can send in place of the people that you need to protect, i.e. your mission solvers. And in particular for a deck like Michael that's trying to 2-mission win here, you cannot put those people at risk, okay? So, Vanderberg and the other idiot, Giotto, you can't put them at risk, right? Because they need to just swoop in and solve. Okay, so they kind of get left out of the mix anyway, and so there we go. We're gonna risk everybody else. We would have the space store available to us in order to flip for a ship. He's got a couple of people in hand that can staff it, plus the ability of the ship to download its staffing anyway. So we're not worried about the Enterprise being stranded. We're not worried about it even being blown up, because the cavalry will come. Okay, so in that sense, everyone is viable to be sent, except for the 2 people that we really need to protect in order to solve the mission for 45 points. Yeah. Okay. So. So that's that. So that's where our opponent's deck is at. Now let's change focus to our own deck then. Okay, so we are the Delta Quadrant. These were our doorways. We are in fact doing the Museum of Kyrian Heritage, and that's downloading us Voyager. Voyager gets us Blue Alert and the Bioneural Gel Pack. We're just going to put that here, but we will know that it's on Voyager the whole time. We are seeding a Herosian Outpost that will special download a Herosian Hunt. This is for the purpose of just simply being able to download the Alara in non-aligned mode as a way just to convert a card draw to another ship. We are once again seeding Group Therapy. So here's the important thing about this. It just simply says seeds are placed on your headquarters, outpost, or site. We have an outpost, okay? There's no cultural enforcement here. Furthermore, in place of the card draw, you download the civilian to hand. So you don't download them to an outpost they can't go to. And on the other side of it, or genetically enhanced personnel to your Karen Lowe's. Once again, Karen Lowe's is not going to be on the Herosian Outpost. So you can download the genetically enhanced person directly to Karen Lowe's, who's on Voyager. Okay, so Group Therapy is usable by Voyager decks that are seeding whatever Delta Quadrant outpost. Doesn't even matter what. So we've got Group Therapy again. We're gonna put the Cafe on Voyager again. Get some card draws. Home Away from Home is our reporting mechanism on Voyager. We have another reporting mechanism with Protect the Timeline on the Museum of Curie Heritage. So we will thus have free plays that are 31st century to the location. Anybody playing at this location for free. And because it's here, they don't have to be reporting to the planet. They can be reporting to Voyager, and you get them for free. And then we have Home Away from Homes for free. We have our science support personnel, which is going to grab us Karen Lowe's early. We have our Defend Homeworld, which we're going to use to get the Troys again. They're going to run through Temporal Micro Wormhole, but their ability to, I mean, the fact that they've got 6 really good skills, one of which is empathy, is really important. They're just a single card way that we can start getting our card draws with the cafe again. Okay. All right. Yeah. So these 2 cards are on Voyager. All right. We have our mission specialists. They're both non-aligned, so they will go to the Herosian Outpost comfortably. They are Dr. Farrick and Angelo Tassoni. Angelo Tassoni was chosen because of his navigation mission specialist ability for this mission right here, and Dr. Farrick because of his command star. The 2 of them together can command. They can pilot the Olara once it's downloaded. So, and that's all of our seeds. So we're essentially ready to go. This deck, what we're gonna do besides the fact that we're trying to like use group therapy in a Voyager deck, these are the cards that we're trying to utilize in this deck. So, Live Long and Prosper. We can use it to save Tuvok, I suppose, but it's really the second function that we're putting in the deck for. Once per turn, meaning you can do it on your turn or your opponent's turn. Returns an opponent's person who was just killed to their hand. Draw 1 card for each of their red dot icons. So this is a way that our opponent runs into one of our dilemmas, their guy dies, we send them back to their hand, that generates card draws. We can turn one of those card draws into a group therapy download. So this card is both card draw, and it's also a means of getting a download on the opponent's turn. So I really think that this card is, this was a fun find as I was trying to piece together a way to further abuse group therapy. I found this card and was actually it's from the original Trouble with Tribble set. So this card's like 20 years old and yet still good. So we're gonna do that. Next up, we have End Transmission. No longer abusable with Amanda Rogers Protector, but that's fine. It's still just going to be used to kind of stall an opponent. We are on a 3-mission win deck, so if we can have our opponents hit our friendly fires and so forth, we can lock them out for an additional couple of turns, which is very important. Gives us an edge in the 3-mission versus 3-mission matchup. And it's basically a way that we can buy our way into a game versus a 2-mission win deck, one especially as tight as Michael's. It's going to be basically like our only hope that we'd be able to like delay them long enough for us to get our 3 missions. And kind of pressing on that, we have a couple copies of Khan in the deck in order to basically, if the 2-mission win deck does actually like call the right dilemma correctly, we can nullify it. Otherwise, the primary function will be to nullify their bonus points. So basically, we're just hoping that we draw into a Khan before he gets to his, either before he gets to his Preserver Obelisk points or self-seated Cytherians, whatever it ends up being, right? If we draw it early enough to knock out Preserver Obelisk points, great. Otherwise, because we can nuke 10 of those points on that first mission. If we draw it late, maybe we still drew it in time to keep them off of a self-seated Cytherians or off Preserver Obelisk points at a second mission, whatever it may be. So these are the cards that we're using to kind of keep us competitive in a solver versus solver matchup. Will they be enough? I don't know. but we're going to give him a try. All right. So shuffle the deck, and we're going to play out our first 3 turns. We're going to assume I did do a coin flip, and we did win the coin flip, so we are going first. All right, so we do have an end transmission early, so that we will be able to possibly delay the opponent should we get lucky. We got a couple of 31st Century free plays. We've got a Home Away from Home free play, and we've got a generalized card play that we can make for free with Protect the Timeline. We did get a handshake as well. Our opponent's drawing like 3 cards at the end of the turn, so it's a good chance that we'll be able to get some free draws with our handshake on turn 2. So, all right. So first turn, Rebbe and Azan free with Protect the Timeline. Harry Kim's free with Home Away from Home. We'll go with Quarren as our free play to the 31st Century. And then we'll have our card play. Let's just do it. Let's just go ahead and handshake this away. Okay. That's pretty good. That seems pretty good. So we drew into our con. We drew into our Live Long and Prosper. That's pretty good. We gave up we gave up an end transmission, but you can't have it. It's hard to have it all. So, but that was our card play. We just pitched 3 cards, drew 7. We're okay with that. We're gonna go ahead and defend Homeworld. Go get the Troys. Second from the bottom. So that's pretty good. We're gonna go ahead and convert. We're gonna stop them to the cafe. We'll convert that to a draw. We'll convert that to a download through group therapy. We're going to grab Kess. Kess is one of the all-stars of the deck. And then we're gonna take our regular card draw at the end of turn, and we'll convert that into Neelix. Okay, opponent has his second turn, or his first turn, and then we have our second turn. Kess for free with Home Away from Home. We'll go Neelix for free with Protect the Timeline, and then we'll go card play card play is going to be Catherine Janeway. We're going to go ahead and assign support personnel, grab Karen Lowe's out of the deck. We are still able to run on our script here. All right, we're going to stop the Troys. Let's put Mazzodi into our hand with a draw. Okay. And then we'll stop Neelix and Kess for a draw. That's pretty good. Actually, that's more than pretty good. That's really good. And then we go to end of turn. Yeah, end of turn. I think it's a question of do we get the Olara or not. I think we will. I think we'll just put the Olara into play at the outpost. Okay. Pass to our opponent. He has his second turn. As I said before, he chooses not to attempt a mission. Okay. And and we're okay with that. We go to our third turn. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 people in play here. Unfortunately, just the way this is working out, I don't think we're going to be able to attempt on our turn. I mean, we do have Kess as a bug out, but we're not going to end up. We're not going to have the Dauntless as a bug out, and we gave up our holodeck door, so we're not going to have Anastasia as a bug out. So I think it might be best if we just simply wait a turn. But since we are in, I mean, we've got the con protection here. So if somehow our opponent does just bust through their mission and they try to solve it and they get their Preserver Obelisk points, that they may actually, like, we may just push them right into that third mission. So, yeah, so I think we're okay to wait that turn. So again, this speaks to what we're trying to accomplish with the deck. Okay, so we have to do 3 missions. We have the ability to put a significant number of people into play. You know, we are a deck that's keeping pace as a mission solver. But the advantage that this deck has is it has so many ways of bugging out. And we know that we're going to have the ability to bug out because we know that our opponent doesn't have a seeded computer crash. So we're confident that whatever we do, we can literally send everybody to space, just attempt, and we're fine. And so, yeah, I think we're just going to have to simply wait another turn before we decide to attempt, because I think we want to try to get Anastasia as another bug out. That being said, I don't necessarily know that we have to, because we do have Kess, and Kess should be enough. But maybe not, because I guess a big part of the problem is that, I mean, she can bug us out of the mission attempt, and then we just flat out lose her. Whereas if we have Anastasia, she can stop everybody, and we keep her in play, and we also just keep Kess available to us as a weapon for the next mission. But that being said, Anastasia can just be our bug out for the following mission. We may draw onto the Dauntless. And since we are in a solver versus solver matchup here, I do think that it might be in our best interest to just go ahead and attempt. Just make that attempt. Yeah. So I think that's what we're going to plan on doing then. So let's plan for it. Let's free play 7 of 9, home away from home. Let's free play Mazzotti with Protect the Timeline. We will card play Pink to the Outpost. He's going to grab us a Sukansa ship. We're going to download... Oh, sorry. On that first turn, Mr. and Mrs. Troy had to go through the temporal micro wormhole, but we would have downloaded the space-time portal first. So that's just kind of that's an oopsie on me. Trying to both talk, explain things, and play the game at the same time. So, so we're going to do that. We're going to stop Mr. and Mrs. Troy. We're going to run it through the group therapy. And what we're going to do is we're going to get Lauren. Right now, we have a lot more females than males. Well, if we put these all together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 6, 7, 8. The idea being that what we want to do is we're going to assume that our opponent's going to try to attempt on turn 3. That's going to give us access to Love Long and Prosper, killing somebody, bouncing it, getting them, and then we get another download. And then what we want is we want Lauren to turn into card draws, I think. Because if we live long and prosper, we can download Patrick. We can download Patrick out of our hand to get surprise party. Or Julian Bashir, whatever we need. Or Serena or Jack, just whoever we would need. And then if we do have more females than males, we can get 3 more card draws that maybe help us find our holodeck door. Also help us find our another copy of our end transmission, which we might need. So I think that's what we want to do, is we want to try to have more females than males. So I guess we would probably get Serena in that case. So as long as we send all the females, we send not him, then I think we're going to be okay with that plan. Because we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 males, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 females. We could send Dr. Ferrick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because what'll happen is that as long as none of our females, well, if we lose Cass, that's a problem. So let's just do that. Let's just send these. If we have to lose Cass to bug out, we go 5 and 5, and Life Simple Pleasures just still just draws us a card. So I think that's our plan. Okay, so let's do that. Let's just go ahead. What we're gonna do is we're gonna send Patrick to the bottom of the deck to use Temporal Conduit, and we're gonna simply shove these people to the future, to the past. Put them on board the Alara. Hank's our command star. Harry's our staff star. We've got a backup command star, backup staff stars. We're fine. Okay. So we're going to take this. I mean, this is kind of our primary mission that we want to do first. 3 underneath it. 3 underneath this one. I think that what we do is we'd go after Investigate Quantum Singularity first. It's closer. And so when we have access to multiple ships, so let's just do that. We'll go to Investigate Quantum Singularity, and we'll just attempt with everyone. And Maggie, the reason why we're attempting with everyone is because of the fact that we have the bug out card. If I didn't have a bug out card, what I would do is I would just simply identify the people you cannot lose. In this case, it would be, you know, navigation ×2 and probably engineers. We would leave Angelo to Sony behind, of course, and we would leave, we'd probably leave Neelix behind, and probably Harry Kim behind, or 7 of 9. We just leave them behind because everyone else becomes expendable. But we're going to attempt with everybody here, and we're just going to go in and see what happens. So first dilemma we face, shuttle crash. 1 youth personnel opponents, stops 1 youth personnel opponent's choice, then 1 officer your choice. Well, youth personnel is Mazzotti, or Harry Kim, or the twins. And he knows that he's only Catherine Janeway can stop to the officer side of it, so the opponent will see that that's my only choice. And then I need 2 navigation to get past it. And I am simply not going to have it, period. So apparently we should have brought Angelo to Sony. So it doesn't matter who they stop, they're just going to stop them, and then we can't pass. But at least we know that once we get Angelo to Sony that we're going to be fine. I mean, that definitely kind of blows to not be able to pass the first dilemma even. Come on, Neelix, why can't you have 2 navigation? Yeah. And I don't think there was any other way for us to grab it. And we didn't have it on anyone else. We just needed to have it. So basically, it's almost acting like a lack of preparation. It's forcing us to have our 2 navigation. But them's the breaks. Nothing else we can do. We go to end of turn and we just simply take our card draw. That's not a good card draw. Okay, we flip to the opponent's turn and he takes his turn, plays his dudes out, and then yes, he's gonna go to review mining operation because he sees again that this is the mission that has like 3. Even though it has 4 dilemmas on it, and then this one has 3. He did not draw his Genesis effect, so he would be concerned about maybe not wanting to do the 3-ball one because he thinks that maybe the 3-ball one would have a dead end underneath it, and he can't beat that right now. Not the worst thing in the world because he would just probably run to space and try to do his trick. So I guess I'm not really sure. The fact of the matter is that he's got the people in play in order to solve mining operation for his bonus, and he does not have them in play for investigate quarantine. Well, actually, he does, doesn't he? He does have Vina. Yeah, Vina and the Keeper are also in play, I guess. So it really is a question of what does he want to do here. Does he want to like run headlong into a 4-card combo, or does he want to play the odds that maybe like this is a 3-card combo plus a dead end, or does he want to just go into the investigate quarantine and see what happens? If he hits the dead end, then he knows that he's gonna change gears and try to solve space first and hit the 15 points off the Cytherians. I mean, sure feels like this should be an investigate quarantine. Sure feels like it should be go to investigate quarantine, and then just let these people be over here. And then Giotto is fine. We don't have to worry about Giotto and his security and astrophysics and his command star. So let's do that. Let's go to Talos 4. We're gonna protect the Keeper and Vina by leaving them behind. So these 2 can go. She can go. Kirk can go. He can go. I don't know that he's useful right now. Giotto can go. McCoy's going to go for sure. We're going to leave Scotty behind as transporter skill to staff the ship. Staff the ship and transporter skill for a Jolie Chu. Anthropology is on Kirk. Is on the OG Kirk. So we're not worried about getting whacked by a Jolie Chu. McCoy's probably going to cover a Med Crisis combo. And then, of course, we can just simply protect our skill gainers so we can beat whatever skill wall that we have to deal with. So, yeah, so they're going to stay behind 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 people. We're going to use the classic communicator, though, first before we go in. I mean, what could we possibly face at a planet? What skill would we need? We see that the opponent has ability to see AU dilemmas, but whatever we bounce off of, we can probably we'll just gain it next turn and we can beat it. So I don't necessarily know what is it that would absolutely destroy us. I don't know if there's anything that would absolutely destroy us. I mean, Scotty's going to send in a Type 2 phaser if we face Deneman, and skill gaining isn't going to matter. But I think we're a little weak on science, right? Yeah, I'm not even really seeing any science. Yeah, we have like no science. We can't gain it. We have plenty of medical. Yeah, science is a problem. So if we face science, we're just not beating it, period. But let's just go ahead and let's take the biology off of McCoy. And we'll put it, let's just put it on con. We'll take biology and put it on con. All right. Also, to be fair, I set these combos up on my side as well all those days ago. I don't even really remember what I put here. I know that it's a 4-card, 3 card, but I don't really remember what it is. I intentionally did not refamiliarize myself with what I was doing in order to try to make this a little bit more realistic. So they'll beam down, they will attempt. Okay, they hit M113 creature. Now that I see that, I do remember what it is that I am trying to set up. So we need to either get their physics out if they only have 1, or we need to kill their archaeology if they only have 1. Well, I don't see any physics, and there's the archaeology. Gosh, even Mr. Scott doesn't have physics, so physics is another problem. No physics. Whack the archaeology. The other thing to keep in mind is since he has no physics, we're not worried about our next dilemma being beaten. So we could just go after someone who's really good. Someone who beats the last dilemma. Could also just kill Giotto. We could actually just straight up nuke the keeper. That would, oh my gosh, nuking the keeper or nuking Vina would be a big deal because, yeah, like I said, he doesn't have physics. Let's just double check it. No, no, no. Certainly not. What does Driven do? I think Driven gains a skill from someone. So we may have to kill her. I think if we just kill the archaeology, then I don't think Driven gets 2 skills. The other thing to keep in mind is that killing Tiberius Kirk also helps us later on. Killing her helps us later on. Killing Scotty helps us later on. Is she? No, he's got computer skill times 2. Yeah, archaeology, physics, and computer skill. I mean, if we do this, we play it safe. Driven can't buy his way into beating the dilemma because he's got too much computer skill. If we just flat out kill her, we keep Driven at bay. Yeah, we keep. Okay. Um, the other thing that we're keeping in mind is that live long and prosper is also a viable issue here. That if we can kill more, the more dots that we kill, the more cards we get. So killing her would mean that we take driven out of the equation. We guarantee our next dilemma hits. We would draw 5, so we'd get a download plus 4. That's really strong. Taking driven out of the equation also keeps us a bit more alive for the dilemma that's coming at the back end. And since we'd flat out stop them, M113, we don't have to worry about double exo, do we? Oh, we have to worry about double exo. Son of a gun, because he's going to cure it. McCoy's going to cure it, so we don't get a second kill here. It's either kill McCoy. Okay, so the last dilemma, as long as he doesn't have... God, number 1 is also a major problem. And so is Conunion Sync. These are all a problem. Ugh, this is a tough decision. Doesn't have engineer. Doesn't have engineer. Doesn't have engineer. 1 engineer. So the good news is that they're not going to pass the last dilemma even if they beat the next dilemma. It's just a question of the fact that would they end up beating? Would they prevent people from? Yeah. Would they prevent something else? I'm curious as to what Driven does. I think Driven gains a skill. No, I think it's gain any skill. I really think it's gain any skill. So we're gonna kill Lieutenant Uhura. Then he's gonna cure the M113. Okay, so we kill Uhura, she dies. Alright. Uhura dies. We play Live Long and Prosper to send her back to his hand. We will use the first draw to download. So I don't think any of our guys, I don't think Serena doesn't have navigation, neither does Patrick. Jack doesn't. But he does have astrophysics. And I want to say we were light on astrophysics in our group. Yeah, we totally are. The other thing to keep in mind is that if whoever we download, if we download him, then we don't get our additional 3 draws. We would have to download a female, and we don't want to download a female. Okay, so we're gonna get a male. So we're gonna get a female. We'll just go get Serena. No. Yes, we're gonna go get Serena. She goes on to the ship because that's where Karen Lowe's is, and then we get 4 draws behind that. Still not really what we're looking for, but still not terrible. Okay, and then the opponent cures. Where did I put it? Well, So it goes away as a cured dilemma. Then they go into Hello Computer and they don't have it. So Hello Computer will stop them, reduce all of their attributes. All right, so that group is stopped because they did not have what they needed. Now, out of curiosity, I'm going to go look. I'm pretty sure it's driven in the Q stent. Oh, didn't even have it. Didn't even have it. Funny. All right, so we were worried. We were worried for no reason. We didn't maximize that one, but again, we had to play smart. I had to play smart. Okay, so stops the opponent. These people, we're not putting them at risk. We want to leave them on the ship for the additional card draws. So we'll just simply take our 3. The other thing that, the other thing the deck did was, my mistake, this is where I'm trying to do 2 things at once here, is that it used Risk as Our Business and also Taking Charge. So it went Taking Charge, Landing Party, and then Risk is Our Business to get where no one has gone before. And then, of course, download one security guard or an equipment. Grab the classic tricorder. Couldn't use it because the attempt the mission comes in and it can only be selected. So that was in the group and it wasn't going to help. And then Scotty's just going to download a Type 2 phaser because he can. And then draws 3 to end the turn. That's all really good. Pass this turn back to us. Okay. So we get Tuvok for free. We are going to... Our opponent has 8 cards in hand. Well, had to be 0 cards. Had to be fewer cards. Yeah. All right, yeah, Tuvok for free. And then that's just it. Well, let's just go ahead and play hollow projectors on the planet, because we can. We have nothing else to do. We're going to stop Mr. and Mrs. Troy, and they're going to download. Now we're going to get Jack. Jack is going to get on the ship. Olara flies over. We're going to grab these guys because we're no longer concerned about such things. This time we're going to fly on the Sukasa ship because it hasn't used any range. So the Sukasa ship flies back and we just reattempt with everybody. It's going to stop the twins because they're simply the most dots. And then Catherine Janeway stops, but then we have 2 navigation. And what is it? Cunning? Yeah, we got cunning. So that goes away. Into V'ger. Oddly enough, we have Anthrodippo and Computer Skill. That would have been the moment that Kess's bug out would have been very helpful if we needed it. But as it is, we just flat out beat it. All right. So we beat it. We score 5 points. Those might be helpful. And then we go into a dead end and we hit the dead end hard. Okay. So now that we know that that's where the dead end is, now that we know that that's where the dead end, now we know that we can just simply fly to restore victims, try to solve it, and then fly back. And then we also have to do like return for life form, where we got to do answer distress signal. We do have the ability to do conduct perilous trade because we got the 5 points from the V'ger. That's also a possibility, but we are going to just do restore victims first. So unfortunately, that's that. We found the opponent's dead end. Six cards in hand. Yeah, end of turn. We will just take our card draw. And then this counts down 1. We did get a holodeck door, which is good. And we pass the turn. So goes to my opponent. 1 dilemma to beat here. We have no idea what it is. We're going to simply play Spock for free. Nils Barris will play for free because if we can beat it and go to space, we're going to want his bug out ability. The other thing that happens is Vina is going to select. Vina's going to select. What could possibly be the last dilemma? What would the opponent think about that last dilemma? What would they think? She's going to select engineer. And then we're going to have... We're going to replay... No. We're going to card play assign mission specialists. And then that will get us Ensign Davis and Claudius Marcus in case we have to abandon this mission. It's also just the most number of people in play. So we're just not going to go get them right now. We're just going to live with the people that we have. We're going to have Exculbian Kalis is going to gain... He's going to gain the archaeology. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to have our engineer and science people gain geology. And then, yeah. And we're going to send Kalis down to join the group. And then that group will attempt. Okay, so they attempt. One last dilemma. It is a spatial rift, so they got to randomly select 2 people. So we'll go back over to here. We'll actually put everyone into this group. Take the equipment back out. Scalby and Kalis, Dr. McCoy, their attributes -2, so they disappear. Reveal to others. There we go. Gosh, what was I doing? All right, so we need Astro and 2 engineer remaining. We have 1 engineer, and that is it. I think Kalis had picked up engineer, but it doesn't matter at this point. Don't have it. I don't even think we have the astrophysics. We have the astrophysics, but we don't have 2 engineers. So stops to the spatial rift. These guys aren't going to beat it because they're just going to lose 2 people. No matter who we send down, they would just go. And then, yeah, I think that's just going to be it. Draw 3 to end the turn. Comes back to my turn. Opponent has 8 cards in play again, so we're going to go with Handshake. Either they discard 3 or we draw 3. They're going to just let us draw 3. These draws are terrible. And we'll go ahead and holodeck door. I mean, normally I would get Anastasia. What's been frustrating about this game has been that we didn't draw a holodeck. We had a holodeck door early, and we just didn't do it. Otherwise, we could have like strung out, getting our revised people. I do like the idea of just getting Anastasia though still, because of the fact that she can bug us out on this planet. So. Got to keep protecting our stuff. So, all right. So she, unfortunately, she has to report. She reports to the Alara with that download. So we're just going to go ahead and take the Sukasa ship, fly over. Then we're going to hop on board the Alara with her. We're going to take the Alara over to restore victims. And then we're just going to simply beam down an attempt with everybody. Got to keep moving forward because our opponent's moving forward too. First dilemma, close call. Okay, so randomly select the personnel, kill if they do not have computer skill or transporter skill. All right. Reveal to owner, none, and shuffle. Randomly you. Oh, that's a good one for them to hit. Okay, so he'll die. And then we need to have 2 diplomacy or 3 security. Well, we've got diplomacy. So we beat the close call. Into God. We have God with Kess and Serena. Kess and Serena beats God. Clown Guillotine, we still have the 2 diplomacy. And yeah, that was unfortunately very easy. Since we found the dead end here, we knew we didn't have to worry about it here. I don't know if we actually have the mission skills though. Transporter skill ×1. And I don't think we have it ×2. We do not. Okay. As a matter of fact, we don't have it in play period. But we've cleared the mission out. We are not stopped. So we'll just beam up, and we're going to continue on our way. We'll fly to return life form, and we will attempt it. Emergent life form, well, doesn't matter because, yeah, can't move us. We burned out our range. And then we make cure with 2 engineer and astro. We have astro on Jack. We have engineer on 7 of 9 and Neelix. So we just cure that outright. That feels like it was a berry because by putting it like all the way over here on an end, it would have to be at one of these 2. Because when you're playing against a Voyager deck, the holodeck is going to get cured. I mean, this is a bad dilemma against it. And if you just put it, and if you just would have put it here, it doesn't really matter because they're still just going to cure it. So it's just a bad dilemma against us. Experience Beige. Okay, someone's got to face the dilemma. All right. Ends the mission attempt. All right. So here's the good news. The good news is we just have to simply flip and find a transporter skill. So we're gonna stop in. Because we don't have transporter skill on any of the Jack Pack, do we? And I'm like positive that Patrick doesn't have it. We need to find one. Okay, so let's do this. Let's stop. Let's try to see what we have in the deck. We use group therapy to pull out a civilian. So we can get it with one, get it with Marie Kaplan. They were both at the top of the deck. So apparently I should have done that. Patrick doesn't have it, doesn't get it for us. We could get Balana. I mean, we have so many. We have so many people, so many cards that can get it for us. It looks like we're going to be able to, we're going to con our opponents. We're going to possibly live long and prosper our opponent on the next turn. Because when they solve, they're going to try to go for it. We're going to con them. And so our next turn is if we need to, we're just going to handshake our whole hand away and just find our transporter skill. So we have to pull a civilian into play or into hand. Our only civilian remaining in the deck is Patrick, but we can't download him into play because we put someone into play already. So he just simply downloads into hand. Well, no, we could do... we'll do Ichib. Ichib's a viable target. So Ichib goes to hand. We'll be able to free play him before we handshake. Yeah. Yep. And of course, the opponent's going to attempt a mission. They're going to face it. We're going to get rid of the experience beach. It's not really an issue. And then our end of turn. We have end of turn draw yet. Yeah, there's nothing else we can do. This is going to count down again. And we draw into, oh, there we go. Now we have it for sure. So we will not have to handshake. We'll have it for sure because we'll be able to just simply play for free, special download to go get our transporter skill, a revised guy with transporter skill, and then we'll be able to just to like blow through all this. It's going to be more a question of like how do we use all of our ships at our disposal to make this happen, and also beating this last dilemma with the people that we have over here. So, yeah, that's more of the question of how we do this. So our next turn is going to be huge. So, all right, we go to let the opponent go to his turn. Discard a card. Oh, the other thing we forgot to do, we forgot to review mining operation. We've had Jose Tyler in our hand for a couple of turns, and we have an extra Barber series right now, so let's just do that. We'll discard those. Those get removed. Let's draw 4. An opponent goes to 6 points then. So this is all we have. This is what we now have available to us on this turn to play. I think I like the idea of Yeoman Rand for free so that we can get an additional 5 bonus points if we need it. Joaquin for free because he's worth potentially 6 skills. Card play. We'll just card play Christopher Pike. And then we will Preserver Obelisk. I don't know if there is anybody. Pollux 4. Yeah, that's not one of our missions. Can't download Plomus. Vandenberg's in play. Don't have that mission. I don't think Yeoman Colt's in play, though. No. Yeoman Colt it is. All right. Well, let's rethink something here. I don't know about Christopher Pike, because if I was Michael playing this deck, we need to, on this turn, be able to try to beat this mission and try to get to a space mission. So I think we would actually space store. Yeah, let's just do that. Yeah, let's space store. And then that way we can just grab everybody, have everybody here. We try to beat that, and then we have the Enterprise fly all the way over and try to do the space mission. So let's do that. Fly to here. Bring in everybody with all these people. We're going to gain engineer off of Scott and give it to Claudius Marcus, because that's hilarious to me somehow. It also means that the engineer is being spread out across more people. I guess the other option is if we take somebody else's engineer and then just hope that Mr. Scott gets through. Well, he gets through anyway. I mean, Mr. Scott busts through that dilemma if he doesn't get selected. So this is a bum rush situation where we try to make the math work in our favor, or we're just trying to get Scott through. But if we can somehow make it so Scott gets selected, then we still get through. So we need to, because we're going to lose 2 people. So we want to protect the Keeper and Vina this time. We do want to protect them so they don't disappear, so that we can beat Investigate Quarantine. We can solve Investigate Quarantine. Problem is, though, is if we solve without them. But we have astrophysics and an engineer. So let's do this. Let's put another engineer onto number 1 off of Mr. Scott. That's what we'll do. So then our opponent would have to select Mr. Scott and either one of these 2 in order to keep us from beating the dilemma. Although we have an engineer here, though. So maybe it's astrophysics we need to move. So we would have engineer, and then we have 1 astrophysics, 1 astrophysics. So I think it's actually we move an astrophysics then, isn't it? See, that doesn't move it. That doesn't move astrophysics or grant it. Vina also has the ability to select a skill at the start of turn. You know, in this situation, if Skalby and Kalis would have survived, this would be a hell of a lot easier. This would be a guarantee. Because right now, if he selects these 2, we don't get past it. So yeah, I think it's, instead of moving engineer, we move astrophysics onto Yeoman Rand, and then we can't possibly fail to this. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to then send everybody in. We're going to send these 2 as well. We're going to take the risk. Because in order to try to beat the dilemma, we have to send so many people in. And then we are going to inadvertently solve the mission. Because we're going to have cunning greater than 32. We'll have anthro security and then we're going to have treachery is going to have to come from, treachery or honor is going to be coming from somewhere. Yeah. We'll at least make up the points with his treachery if we lose Vina or something. So, All right. Yeah, we're gonna go in with everybody. Hit the spatial rift. You. Okay. Yeah. A 4 and an 8 doesn't pass, so they discard. They disappear. Then we do beat it. We beat that. And then we solve the mission. Let's go his 5 bonus points, her 5 bonus points, the keeper's 5 bonus points. So treachery here, Anthro here, and Vina in security. So that'll score us 55 points. And then it's at this point, it is at this moment that we go no. To the points from the Preserver Obelisk, you will only score 5 points. And that makes our opponent very sad. Because they solved the mission, they took several turns to do it. They do score 5 bonus points here. They're going to special download the final mission report. So we'll take the card draws. Take the card draws and the points. So we do get 5 from that. We do get the 5 from the assigned mission specialists. Then we're going to get the 35 from the mission. Yeah, we'll get the 35 from the mission. And then we will get 5 more when we file the mission report, right? TOS may file mission reports aboard her ship, so they beam up to the ship, then they file the mission report for another 5. But what's important here is that it makes it so that the self-seated Cytherians was an absolute must. Now, Michael, if you watch this, feel free to comment below. Was the Cytherians intended to be a self-seed or not? In this scenario, these self-seeded Cytherians is the only way that this deck now has a chance of 2-mission winning again. Because it's not going to be able to process mining fast enough, and so forth. So it would have been the only way they can do it. So let me know in the comments, Mike, or in the thread on the CC site, if that is the way it's supposed to be played or not, or if the Cytherians is supposed to just be seated as a dilemma, and that you're just literally trying to score the 35 plus these 3 for 15, and then the 5 from that, and the 5 from the file mission report, and then 5 from doing the process ore mining like 3 times. If that's the case, then I guess I've screwed this up. But in a like happy accident kind of a way. But I mean, yeah, you'd have to tell me, Mike, what the plan is here. So that's that. The Constitution has 9 range, 6 plus the To Boldly Go. It's used 3, but we need to get back over here to this mission. And it takes 3, 6, 7, 8. So we are going to just load everyone on board the Starship Enterprise and fly to here. Well, I suppose we'll leave one person behind. No, this ship hasn't used its download yet, so it can do that on the next turn just to get its staffing back, so no big deal. Okay, yeah, we'll take everybody. It's two dilemmas. If one of them's a dead end, we have it beat. If it's a Cytherians in front of our Cytherians, then that wins us the game. We can beat a V'ger. We can beat the Cloud. So we're just going to go run into it. I think Risk is Our Business doesn't have another download. Yeah. And I don't think we have an objective that we want to download. So yeah, I think that's fine. I think we're good. So go into it. Emitting Disintegration Protocol. Okay, so we're killing an engineer in space with the most dots. Engineer with 5 dots. Engineer with 5 dots. Engineer 4 dots. Going to be able to pass this because no matter what he does. Okay, so kills Mr. Scott in order to reduce the range, which is important. I think we either win on our next turn or we just don't win. So we will just actually go ahead and send Mr. Scott back to their hand. And then that'll allow us to draw cards. But more importantly, we're going to download Patrick into play. So Patrick +4. This is really big right here. That's really big. And so is 1. 1 is also huge. This is going to allow us to go... yeah, this is really big. Yep. Okay. So actually, Mr. Scott comes back to our hand. We pass it with these 2 people. We get Berserk Changeling, and we have 3 security, I believe. 1, 2, 3. 3 security. And then we hit the self-seated Cytherians, which stops us. But by killing Scotty, we no longer have the range. We had the 9 range to get here. 3, 6, 8. We had the 9 range to get here, and that's it. So now we cannot do the Cytherians on this turn. So, yeah, that was actually kind of a big deal. So we're just stuck. I don't think we have any other boosts. Yeah, no other boosts, no other way to do anything. We just hit the self-seated Cytherians and are stuck. We can't go anywhere. Neither the positive nor the negative. We can't go away from the mission. We can't do anything. And then, of course, in our mind, we're thinking they can't possibly have another copy of Khan, so we probably just win on our next turn. So we pass the turn to the opponent. And we still draw 3 cards because we still have regular this and this. So, I mean, it's really just, at this point, it's academic. And then, of course, on the opponent's turn, let's just do that before we forget. Let's get Vanderberg out of the deck because to heck with it. All right. We pass the turn, so we go to our turn. Can we win on this turn? Experience Beige, we declared go away. All right. So having access to another ship, especially one with quantum slipstream drive, is very big. So we're going to card play that. That is a guaranteed card play. We are going to play one for free with Protect the Timeline as a guarantee because he's going to gain all of our skills that we need. We're going to free play... We are going to free play Icheb with Home Away from Home. And then, yeah, we're going to free play Revised Janeway with Museum of Korean Heritage. And that's it. That's all of our plays that we have available to us. We're going to just take this War Council and we're going to put everyone on board Voyager. And we're going to just simply cycle this War Council to the bottom of the deck to move Voyager into the Alpha Quadrant. Okay. So that's now Mission Group 2. All right. So this is what I think we're going to do. We're going to move the Olara, and we're going to move Voyager. No, we're going to move the Dauntless to here. Everybody beam down, and we attempt, we solve, restore victims. We've all seen that we have it now. No, we can't move that ship. We have to move Voyager. We have to move Voyager because we only have a command and a staff. That's fine. So, well, everyone beams down. We attempt, we solve, restore victims for 55. We have 5 from that, and then we get 20, 40, 55. And we need to get to 140 because of the rules, because we're in the Delta Quadrant. And there's Alpha Quadrant mission to play. So we solve that. We don't worry about mission debriefing. We know we can do this. So now we just beam. So we have everybody together, and we're going to figure out where we're going to go and what we're going to do. The unfortunate truth is that if we move... Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to just simply take both of these ships back. We're going to get on board the Dauntless. Dauntless is going to fly to here. The mission's open. We solve it because dead end no longer applies because we're at 55. We can attempt it. We solve it for 50 because we have our navigation mission specialist. We have cunning greater than 40. And we have, obviously, 3 engineers. His is doubled, and she has it. Okay. So we solve that mission for another 50. Puts us at 110, so we only have a 35-point mission we need to solve. Dauntless has moved 4. Dauntless moves back to here. We get on board the Sukansa ship, and the Sukansa ship flies over. And we just hope that we can beat the last dilemma. It's a minion disintegration protocol, which we're going to easily beat. And I don't think there's any way they can stop our mission skills. Because we have astrophysics on 2 different people, so... all right, but engineer with most dots. He has 3. He's gaining engineer through Icheb. Icheb has 6. So you already know that Icheb is probably the most engineer dots we have. 1, 2, 3, has 5. Doesn't have it. Doesn't have it. Has 4 dots. Also has 6 dots. 5 dots. Don't have it. Okay, so you kill one of those two. Astrophysics is actually on Echeb, so we'll just kill Echeb, hoping that that's enough. Then we pass it with Engineer. Oh, sorry, it doesn't gain the Engineer. Oh, the Engineer is on her classification, so it's Patrick Engineer, and it's 7 of 9 Engineer classification. So we beat that, and then we go for the win. Computer skill ×2 on 7 of 9. Astrophysics is on Jack, and it's being doubled, even if that mattered. And then Serena's got exobiology, and then we have diplomacy on, let's say, the Troys. We'd solve this mission for 40, and that would be the game. We got to 140 points. We solved space and planet. For the win! So it turns out that con was great, but not absolutely necessary. It would have freed our opponent up. If we actually, on second thought, maybe it really was game changer, because if the opponent's able just to simply fly over here to repair mission, how they wouldn't have gotten through, because they only had 3 engineers. There was 3 engineers that kill one. It would have been the same situation. Yeah, no, we would have removed one, and then we would have killed one, and they would have passed it, and then we would have won on their turn. So I don't know that it actually mattered. It's unfortunate we didn't really get to showcase the end transmission tech the way this game went, but we did get to showcase just how strong the Jack pack is for Delta Quadrant, because their ability to like provide all these skills and so forth, it's really, really quite strong. And of course, it was all facilitated by the Live Long and Prosper as we planned on it. So, so let me know what you guys think. Please like and subscribe on the channel. I hope you enjoyed this video a lot. I definitely enjoyed making it. I definitely enjoyed showcasing this deck idea for Voyager. 3 missions to 140 points. And just so you guys know, it's even without like the opponent giving us V'ger and stuff like that, it's 140 points by being 55 plus 45 plus 40. I mean, these 3 missions get us to our 140, and then of course we have 5 points for Mission Specialist as a 5-point give. The other thing that we can do with the deck is if we encounter an Edo probe that we don't want to blow through, is that we do have revised Kim can grab us a reflection therapy, and the reflection therapy can change Dr. Ferrick's greed into a mission skill. It's another way to get 5 points with the deck. So here, we didn't really grab Julian Bashir because we didn't need to. We also didn't draw Janeway late, so we never got Art of Diplomacy or the gun that comes with it. There was the Life Simple Pleasures. We forgot to download it out of the deck. And then, of course, we have Surprise Party coming off of Patrick, which again showed up and then never showed up at a relevant time. An extra copy of Hollow Projectors. Corrin never had to download it. Corrin is how we get it out of the Q's 10, and we have the one in the draw deck as a backup. That if we draw it, we play it, because then we can have Corrins as a backup. Starfleet Type 2 phasers coming off of revised Neelix. Yeah, and then we had a few more copies here of the end transmission that we just never got to. So, but sometimes you just have to make the decisions in the game. Like sometimes you have to give up one thing in order to actually continue to move forward. You get more by giving it up. So, worked out in our favor in this game. But hope you enjoyed it. Leave any comments, thoughts, criticisms, comments. and so forth. Ways that you think that this deck could be improved. Um, yeah. So, but what you didn't see was we're just simply trying to set up friendly fires. We got friendly fires in different places and stuff like that. And then we've got, as you saw, the Hello Computer reducing attributes to try to make it so that, you know, when they run into our spatial rifts and it's damn near impossible to beat it. Tell me what you think of this combo. I'm pretty happy with it. M113 creature being able to kill, because archaeology is usually tough, physics is usually tough. Like the combination of arc and physics, if you can kill one or the other, it's usually all you need. Setting them into a spatial rift where then it becomes really hard. In retrospect, if we would have, you know, known that Driven wasn't in there, we'd have been able to like go after something a lot more relevant. But it's all right. It worked out. So, all right. Tell me what you guys think. I'll try to remember to post the deck list for this, so that you can see it, so you can make changes to it, play it yourself, and so forth, and have a card for card copy of it. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, thanks for watching. As I said before, please like and subscribe if you are not already a subscriber to the channel. Hit that bell for notifications. As I said in the last video, I'm going to try to continue to keep making videos that I post on Fridays that I hope you enjoy. I think the next video I do, we're just going to do like an actual just regular fishbowl. I think what we'll do is we're going to take this same deck in our next video, and we're going to even more focus on Maggie's request to talk about mission solving. I guess it's also, we might take a different deck and do it, but I think what we're going to do is I'm just going to create some combos from a fictional opponent and put them, just kind of like randomly assemble them, and then we go in. So we'll see though. That's an idea. I'm not sure if I'll do that or not. But thanks so much for watching. Have a good day.